Oh, hi guys. Well, no, what are you talking about? I wasn't gonna start without you. I was just testing my grinder, whether it's working because it's been a while, you know? No, I was gonna wait for you. Do you think I'm gonna start without saying, hi guys, how are you? Welcome to our new project, 1958 Triumph TR3, that we start body restoration on in the Rusty Beauty's garage. I guess you've already seen the first episode in which we did a little bit of a walk around, an introduction of the car with our TR3 expert David Tashingham, as known as Chef Tash. So I'm just gonna assume that you've seen that video and we're not gonna go into too many details now. We're gonna start doing some action. So I'm planning to start with this side, the floor, inner and outer seal, this repair and this repair here, all at the same time. For me, these parts are one piece. I mean, they need to be adjusted at the same time, all three of them. I can't just cut off all three, then weld the floor, and then weld the inner seal, and then weld the outer seal. I need to be able to have the outer seal without the floor being attached. The floor needs to be inside, but I should be able to move it in and out. Now, I don't know what I'm talking about exactly when we talk about TR3 because I haven't done restoration on this type of body, but I've done it on other Triumphs and I know that this is how it works. The floor depends on the position of the outer seal. So we need to have the outer seal in the right place, which means we need to have the door and the front fender at least. And on this car, the rear fender doesn't really affect us for the seal position, but the front fender needs to be on and the outer seal needs to be on so we can determine the position, the exact position of the floor. Because the floor has a rise here. On TR6 it has a floor drop. On this car it has a rise, and this rise needs to meet the inner seal. You can see here we have 4 layers. One is the floor rise, 2 layers are the inner seal, and 1 layer is the outer seal. So position of this line here is determined by the outer seal. We want to make sure that the outer seal lines up with the door well, and then we can deal with the floor inside. So I'm just gonna go ahead and remove completely the inner and outer seal and the floor, and then we're gonna put the new parts kind of in place, and we're gonna put the door on. We're gonna have to remove this strap from here because we need this hinge location here, and we're gonna put the door, we're gonna put the fender, we might even put the bonnet so we can align the bonnet with the fender. I don't remember how exactly they interact, but we might need to do that as well. And then we're gonna see how we're gonna position this in and out. The body is on the frame, as you can see, and it has all the right, like rubber shims and the square shims underneath. So we're gonna aim at making the body lines and everything perfect based on how the body is sitting right now on the frame. And then we're gonna do the same on the other side, and whenever we have a solid body again, we're gonna have the braces and everything, and only then we're gonna remove the body from the frame and we're gonna tilt it on its side somehow, and we're gonna do the welding underneath and whatever we need to do underneath. But we're gonna do 99% of the work as the car is on the frame. That's very, very important for me. So enough talking. Without further ado, let's get crack-a-lacking. I'm just gonna go to town and cut off everything. Like I'm not gonna go cut the weld here because that's hard. I'm just gonna cut it somewhere here, and then it's gonna be easier when we don't have the seal here and in and out. It's gonna be easier to grind this flush. Same here. We're gonna cut this off. I'm gonna try to keep this piece kind of in one piece if I can, so I can try and reproduce it after, because it's unobtainium. And I'm gonna remove this. Yeah, that's the plan. Just go to town and cut off as much metal as we need in order to fit the new parts. All right, time to regroup a little bit. So the first cut is done, the outer seal is out, and it looks like it's been replaced. This is like a galvanized sheet metal, looks like a roofing metal anyway. And oh, actually no, now I realize what it is. So this is the original seal that had the big hole, and they just put this roofing sheet metal on top, and they brazed it. Okay, now I get it. Surprisingly though, the inner seal, it is pretty solid. I was like, at some point I thought, you know what, I don't even need to replace it, because look at that. Like it is really solid. So I thought maybe I should just repair the rear end here a little bit. The A post, you see, it also needs repair. But I thought I just need to repair the rear end, and we were gonna leave it in and just replace the floor inside. However, I looked underneath, and that's what I find. So I don't know. It is all corroded. So that's not gonna work. We have new seals, we're gonna just replace them. So now I'm working on my strategy here, how to remove it. So I removed this part here, and let me show it to you. When I made the cut, I saw this other layer inside, and I'm like, what the heck is that? And then I realized they just dropped this piece of metal from inside, from here, and again, they brazed it inside. That's how they did it in the past. So anyway, this is the piece that we're gonna have to reproduce. And I made a cut here and here, and I haven't removed this because now it is only attached to the inner seal. So that's gonna come together with the inner seal when the inner seal comes out. The problem is now the inner seal is welded here and here, and I'm guessing somewhere here or only here. I don't know, we're gonna have to figure that out. And I'm gonna have to clean this up a little bit and see if there are spot welds or just a weld here at the end. You see there's a flange on the A-post that comes out. So we're gonna have to cut it here and here. We're gonna clean it up a little bit. And inside, I cut the floor as well with the shape of the body mount, because I'm assuming that the floor here is welded somewhere to the body mount, even though it looks like it isn't. Anyway, I cut it because I thought it was welded to the body mount, because the body mount is welded to the seal. Let me show you how it is. The body mounts are welded to the inner seal, so they have to come out together with the whole seal outside. Maybe maybe that's what I should have started with, to show you how this works. So that's what we're trying to take out from there as one piece again. And this piece at the end is welded to these flanges here, so it's gonna come out with them. So that's where I'm going. And because the floor has the rise here and it's welded to the seal, I'm not gonna separate them here. I'm just gonna cut the floor like this all the way, which means I have to remove this from here, but it's just riveted. You see, I ripped one rivet. So I'm gonna rip all the rivets from here, and I'm gonna make a continuous cut all the way to the front, so the floor rise doesn't hold the seal. And I cut it here underneath too, because it goes under the flange of the A-post. So we're gonna deal with this later. Here the floor goes under this, so later when we start removing the floor, we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna just make a cut next to the edge, and then we're gonna deal with all the flanges that are still welded to the car separately. So that's where we are at. back to your nice ragtime piano music. And just like that, the floor and the seal are gone. So I had to cut the seal in two in order to take it out. It was weird. So does that mean that I have to lift the body of the frame to put the new seal in? I don't know. We will see. But anyway, so there were two pads under each body mount, and I believe there must be two, at least that's what Mr. Chef Tash told me, and I believe the Pro, TR3 Pro. So here you see I cut around the A post. There's still parts of the seal that needs to be removed. This part here, oh, that's better, okay. This is still part of the seal. The part that goes under this panel, so we're gonna have to remove this somehow. The floor around, you see I just cut it, but we still need to remove the flange that goes under this panel. There, I don't know, same there on the front. Here, this bulkhead bends in, and there's like 1.5 inches from the bulkhead that goes under the floor here. So we're gonna separate them, but I see this is pretty pitted, and I think there's some holes. The other side is really bad actually, so that one for sure we're gonna need to repair, but I think this one I was thinking that we can leave, but I think we're gonna cut it just under this pressing here, and we're gonna weld a new piece for the bottom because this is pretty pitted, so we don't even need to remove this remainder of the floor. We're gonna just cut all the two pieces together. Here the same, I made a cut through the floor rise and through the two pieces of the inner seal. Actually here you can still see it right here. You see, one is the floor rise, and these two pieces are part of the inner seal. And all these three pieces of metal are still welded to this side panel here. So we're gonna have to drill these spot welds and remove those pieces. Wow, we're making progress here within 1.5 to 2 hours. I don't know what time it is, but we are making good progress. So here I'm debating whether to cut this a little bit higher actually, so we can see what the condition of the A post is, but I believe only inside the seal it was so bad, because we can see from here, see, it's not that bad higher than that. This is the hole, and here it is solid, so we might not need to go higher. We're just gonna cut this whole entire piece from the bottom, and we're gonna make a new one. Okay, that took longer than removing the whole entire floor and seal, but we removed also these flanges that were remaining here. We cut a little bit this flange, but we're gonna repair that later. You know, when we have the floor installed and we flip the car, we're gonna repair that from under the car, because now if we start repairing it, we're gonna have to put some backing, like brass backing or something. But when we have the floor installed, this is gonna serve as a plug welding as well. So that's removed. All the remainings of the seal here are removed, and here as well, everything that was remaining is removed, and the bottom of the bulkhead in the front is removed. So you know what, I think just for a test fit we should actually take the floor and the seal and maybe even the outer seal and install them and see how everything works. Then of course we're gonna have to remove everything again, rust convert all that, and drill holes for plug welds and all that. This part I think, I don't know, and maybe we can repair it with the seal installed. That's gonna help us actually, it's gonna be easier. So yeah, let's install all that. Okay, that took some fiddling, but the inner seal is installed, and just needs to be a little bit higher, right? It needs to be like that. But anyway, this is how far it needs to be here forward. There's this step here, which perfectly matches this flange, so that's good. The step here, there is one. You probably don't see it, but it's all the way here, so I'm not sure how it was on the old one. There was no step here on the old one. Anyway, but here at the end also it kind of matches. I don't know about the rear end, but that kind of matches. However, the holes here don't match. To match, the seal needs to move by 1/4 inch this way, but I don't think it should, because I measured here from the end, that's 3 and what is this, like 3/4 almost. But if we measure this one, the old one, from the end, that's more than 4 inch. So we have like 3/8 difference here. And same here, I measured this distance, so that's the front end. So if we measure from the front end like that to here, that's a little bit less than 15, so it's 14 3/4, right? But if we come here and we measure the same thing from there like that to here, that's 15, right? So this means that the body mount is 1/4 inch this way, so it needs to move that way by 1/4 inch. And I even went and I checked the other one, which is different brand, and look at that. That's 14.5 even, not even a 3/4, it's 14.5. And the back is like 4 inch. So this one is like the original one, but that one doesn't work very well. So anyways, it's gonna have to come out, and I think we're gonna have to cut these and move them 1/4 inch forward and weld them a little bit better, because I just hammered this to go, because it wasn't going over a lip here, so I hammered it a little bit and it bent. So we're gonna have to straighten it, and I'm surprised how easily it bent. So I guess we're gonna have to weld here as well, or at least tuck it into 3 places. I've heard, David told me that somebody's seals actually fell apart because they weren't welded very well here, the spot welds. So I don't know about the quality of these. Anyway, I'm gonna continue with the floor now. I'm not gonna move these now. I'm gonna put the floor as well, and we're gonna just test fit everything, and then probably when we take them out, we're gonna move these by 1/4 inch, if not 3/8. Okay, so I'm halfway, not installed yet. Just wanted to show you the situation here. So here the floor needs to go under this piece, right? That's why it needed to go forward first and then push the rear end down and slide it under, which kind of works, but the only thing is over there now, you see this is jammed here. The rise of the floor is jammed with the bulkhead, so that keeps my rear end up. It works. I can push it down. You see, I can push it down. That's what I'm doing. Like I can do this and it's gonna slide under, but here also I'm gonna have a little issue, so I'm gonna cut a little bit this flange so it can go under, because there's the flange of the drive shaft tunnel, and still it's gonna be, the floor is gonna be a little bit longer than what we need, but we're gonna talk about that later. There's two options there, Chef Tash told me, and yes, I know that flange also needs to be on the inside of the flange of the bulkhead, but we're gonna discuss it later. Okay, so that fit under, no problem. Here it needs to go a little bit more that way and relieve a little bit here, because now this is climbing, but I don't know what's stopping it. I don't know, like, is there something here? I don't understand. Oh, there's something underneath here that's stopping it. Hold on. Okay, it came a little bit further. Need to see what this is underneath. You see there's something there. I need to clean it up a little bit so it can go all the way there and hit that wall. Here it is perfect. It needs to be shorter a little bit, I believe. We need to shorten it a little bit, and it needs to go under this flange, just like the inner seal. The front end, I trimmed this a little bit. I cut it so it can come on, so I can lift the floor up. It is still not as high as it needs to be. It needs to be above this step over there that comes from the engine bay. But let me show you here. As David told me, the floor is longer than what I need. So I have an option either to continue this down all the way to the floor and then bend this up, or do the opposite, as it was actually. Cut the floor flush with this panel and then extend this panel and bend it under the floor, and that's what I'm gonna do. Even though it's gonna be harder, I prefer to do it this way because it's safer. If we have a flange going up here, water is gonna go all the time inside. The other way is safer rust wise. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna mark it, and when we take it out, we're gonna cut it. And inside also, I managed to push it inside of that flange. Like we said, here it is just long enough to go under in that step, this step here. So that's perfect there. The hose, as you can see here, even the floor proves that the hose and that the body mounts are 1/4 inch to the back. You see where the holes are? The whole body mount needs to move forward by 1/4 inch, and the same here. This one matches, I don't know, this is probably for seat belts. I have no idea what it is for. Do they even have seat belts, these cars? I don't think they had seat belts originally. Anyway, it is for something. I believe these are for seats, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 actually for seat mounts, I guess. But yeah, anyway, it is in. Let's also put the outer seal quickly. Well, look at that. Even the outer seal is in. Can you believe it? It's the end of the first day and we already have the new floor, the new inner and outer seal fitted. Well, I wish it was that easy. Now the hard part starts. So far it was hard, but it was like, Rusty, get out of there. So far it was hard, but it was like physical work and not mental work. Now the mental work starts. For example, before I put the outer seal in, which I had to actually tap a little bit with the hammer to get in, but before I put it in, this line here was matching perfectly. Now what happens is the front end is open a little bit and here it is matching, which tells me that probably the seal, the outer seal, is a little bit too long. Rusty, stop. Oh my god, Rusty. And push this panel this way, which made it twist a little bit like that, because up there it's held by the brace. But you know, I guess tomorrow, because for today I'm just done, tomorrow I'm gonna measure the opening of the other door at the bottom and we're gonna compare it, and we're gonna also measure the door. We have to put the door, but I don't want to remove the brace now in this situation because that's gonna twist everything even more. Maybe I should remove the seal. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna remove the outer seal. I'm gonna line up everything as before, and I'm gonna remove the brace and I'm gonna put the door, and then we're gonna see if the posts need to move. We have this body line here and there that need to match the door, so that's gonna help us. So basically the door is gonna tell us whether the A post and the B post are in the right place. We can also take diagonals from the other side and all that. So anyway, we're gonna do that tomorrow. The fact is that we have them pre-fitted. I mean, just put inside. Whether they are in the right place, we don't know yet. But I wasn't expecting by the end of the first work day on this car to have everything out and to have the new parts put in temporarily. So that's a good start on this project. So I'm tired and I'm gonna end it here. I'm gonna go edit the video now for you to watch, and I'll see you in the next one. So thank you so much for watching, commenting, subscribing, sharing and supporting me. You can find details about the support part in the description under the video. So if you're interested in supporting me, feel free to do so. So once again guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.